Alright, guys. Some of these I have. Well, I'm here to do a first book Unhaul of the year. I may have done some of these last year, but I can't quite remember. So I'm just going to unhaul them. And I have 50 books. Wow. Because some of these I have read, some of these I haven't. And they're just sitting on my shelves and in a giant tub of the books I wanted to keep, for the future. And then some of them were just like scattered throughout. And some of these, if not all, are already on either my pangobooks or my depop, and I will link them in the description below. And I will give them 3 weeks before I take them off and go bring them to little free libraries, Annie's bookstop in Rochester, River Run, which is another used bookstore. They'll give you credit like Annie's bookstore, or Pango Books, which will essentially just buy back your books. So let's get started into the first book Unhaul of the year. So we're going to start with this pile and then move around, and yes, you'll see me going back here. So the first one is Forever by Maggie Seawater. I just finished this book. A book review will come soon. And in real life, my journey to a pixelated world by Joey Graceffa. Like I said, some of these I've never read, and I'll let you know which ones. This one I've never read. I just bought this because I liked a couple of his YouTube videos. Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. I've read her Gone Girl. It was okay. I don't think I'm going to be reading this one. Then we have The Paper Magicians by Charlie N. Holmberg. And I read this. I just need to continue the series. Books 1 and 2, A Touch of Darkness and A Touch of Ruin by Scarlett St. Clair. I've read these. I love them. The reason why I'm getting them is because their edges are slanted. Then we have A Secret Kept by Tatiana de Rosana. Never read it. I got this one off of Thrift Books because I was expecting a different cover. And that is Book of 1,000 Days by Shannon Hale. The Ember and the Ashes. 4 books. I read them. I loved them. No need to hold on to them. Then The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. Then Agatha Christie. Well, The Murder at the Thick God. A Miss Maple Mystery by Agatha Christie. Then Again But Better by Christina Ricco. 3 Little Words, a memoir by Ashley Rose Carter. I'm trying to get into memoirs, and this one's just sitting around. Then we have The Bride Test by Helen Hong, a Book of the Month copy. I actually have the paperback of the first book, and I would like the paperback of the second book. Forgot I had this, and I think I picked this up at like a Dollar Tree. Witchborn by Nicholas Bowling. This cover is like stunning. Then we have Loved by PC and Kristen Cast, A House at Night, Otherworld, first book. And other than like a few scrubs, I have like literally never read this book. I've gotten 4 or 5 books into the first marked book series and never finished. And then we have The False Prince by Jennifer A. Nielsen. Let's get right here. This is Where It Ends by Marky Nickimp. I read it. I think it was about a school shooting. Then we have the Witch Elm by Tina French. I picked this up at like a little free library, and it's still sitting here. Then A Blade So Black by L.L. McKinley. If I ever want to read this because it's part of a series, I will gladly get it from my local library. And then same thing goes with Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. Then I tried reading this, 99% Mine, a novel by Sally Thorne, who's the author of The Hating Game. No, I DNF'd it a few months ago. Like 20 pages in, like 2 or 3, or I think it was like 2 chapters in. Bring Her Home by David Bell. I read as far as like chapter 20, put it down, never picked it back up. Then Boy Meets Boy by David Levinson. It was cute. And then we have If You Come Softly by Jacqueline Woodens. Kingdom of Ash and Brines by Hannah West. I picked it up because I liked the cover. I didn't realize it was like book 2 in a series. And then we have 4 arcs, all from 2 are from 2019, one's from 2018, and one's from 2017. These are going to go in a free library, or a little free library. The Polite Society, a novel by Masha Rowe. The Wildling Sisters by Eva Chase. A Psychology of Time by Kate Massacrin. I'm going to bring that up so you guys can look at her last name. And The Suicide Club, a novel about living by Rachel Hung. I will find any of these at a library. Now we're getting down to the last 2 stacks. And The Fill-In Boyfriend by Casey West. The Quiet Edge by Victoria Helen Stone. Starfleet by Melissa Landers. A Game of Fate by Scarlett St. Clair. This is the point of view of Hades, from Hades and Persephone. This was supposed to be part of my TBR for this month. Just a random pick. The Blue Girl by Charles D. Lint. Furthermore by Zahara Mafi. 1984 by George Oswell. Yellow Brick War by Danielle Page. Didn't realize this is the third book, and it's still sitting on my shelves because I wanted to collect the entire series because I read the first book. Then we have Bridgerton Book 1, The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. This is the Netflix tie-in cover. A Unwanted Guest by Sherry Plina. This is from my childhood, and I just have, I read this in my childhood, and I'm not going to read it again. And that is Twitches A Power of Two by H.B. Gilmore and Randy Resfeed. Bought it from Thrift Books. I'm in way too many series to try and start a new one, but it's Asylum by Madeline Rowe. I think this is a contemporary. I'm not going to read it. And it's The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenna Han. War of the Roses by Colin. I'm not going to pronounce that last name because I'm going to butcher the Irish or Scottish. It says, a traitor's advance at Queen's defense, Margaret of Aragon, or however you want to say that, but here's the title. Haunted by Chuck. Not going to pronounce the last name. Then we have Inside Out by Jennifer Bradby. It's a pretty cover still. It's on my shelves. Same thing goes with A Middle Grade Hello Universe. Some Friendships Are Never Meant to Be by Erin Estrada Kelly. The Netflix cover of The Kissing Booth by Beth Rickles. As many of these as I'm just going to say it, I'm not going to get around to reading. I also bought this through Thrift Books because I am the biggest historic material, well, not the biggest, but I am a big fan of his Dark Materials trilogy, The Book of Dust by Philip Pullman, Stargirl by Jerry Splinell, and it's supposed to be a major motion picture. I think I read this. I got a few pages in and I was like, yeah, no, bye. And the last one is The Dress Lodger by Sherry Holmlin. And that is my first big unhaul of the year. I will try to do one further down the road because there's somewhere where there's a storage unit I have, and it has all my books because I can't fit it into where I live, my apartment. But so that is it. Bye, guys.